Ever feel like doubt and fear are just these, like, unwelcome guests that just won't leave?
Yeah.
Well, get ready to maybe, like, change how you think about all that, because on this deep dive, we are going to flip the script.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're diving into an episode all about, well, it's from the Manifest Your Life with Zen M podcast,
Okay.
and it's about doubt and fear.
Right.
And let me tell you, it is about to get empowering.
You know, what I find so fascinating about this episode is how it, like, reframes doubt and fear.
Okay?
It's based on, that Abraham Hicks
Yeah.
suggests that all these emotions, they aren't actually you. They're more like signals,
Oh.
little nudges that are telling us we're maybe a tad out of sync with our true desires.
Okay, so signals, not sentences.
Yeah.
So it's like our inner GPS is saying, like, recalculating. You're off the path to your best life.
Yeah.
But instead of panicking, we can actually use that to course correct.
Exactly. Think about how many times have you let, like, that doubt or fear just completely derail you.
Oh, yeah.
That moment you're about to start something new, a project, a relationship, and bam, those feelings hit,
Ugh.
threatening to stop you before you even begin.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like they have impeccable timing.
Right.
Always got to show up at the worst possible moment. And this episode actually gives a really relatable example
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
About that exact scenario.
Yeah.
It talks about, when you're about to dive into a new project.
Yeah.
And that voice pops up, the one with its favorite line.
Uh-huh.
This will never work.
Oh, what are you even thinking?
Yes.
And instead of spiraling into, like, this pit of self-doubt,
Oh, yeah.
the episode encourages you to, try to shine a light on those thoughts.
Okay.
To examine them, without judgment. And oftentimes just by doing that, their power just starts to fade.
So you're saying by, like, acknowledging and actually, like, examining our doubts, we can actually, like, diminish their power?
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
It is.
But how does that actually work?
Well, it's about recognizing that those negative thoughts, they're often based on, like, past experiences or limiting beliefs that we've picked up along the way, not necessarily on the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
It's like when you're, like, afraid of dogs because one bit you as a child, that fear might not be serving you anymore, but it's still there, lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it's like, instead of letting those old fears dictate, like, our actions,
Right.
we can choose to reframe them. But how do we do that?
Right.
How do we tell those old fear-based stories to take a hike?
Well, I mean, it's similar to a concept called cognitive reframing,
Okay.
where you're really changing, like, how your brain is perceiving a situation. So
Right.
instead of letting that "this will never work" thought kind of take over, you can choose to challenge it.
Right.
Ask yourself, like, what if this could be amazing? What's
Yeah.
the worst that could happen if I try?
Okay, I love where this is going. So we're shining a light on the doubts. We're reframing the thoughts. It feels like we're taking back control, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And this episode actually gives you some great thought-provoking questions to ask yourself.
Okay.
When those doubts and fears creep in, questions like, is this thought really true? Or, what evidence do I have to support this belief?
Right.
Have you ever, like, actually stopped to ask yourself those questions in the heat of the moment?
Honestly?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's more like I just let those thoughts run wild. But I bet if I actually did stop and question them,
Yeah.
I would realize that a lot of them are just old tapes playing on repeat.
Right.
That in itself is incredibly empowering.
It is.
Speaking of empowering,
Yeah.
this episode goes beyond, just challenging those negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Zen MM also talks about, like, cultivating faith
Right.
as a powerful way to kind of overcome doubt and fear.
Yes, and it's important to clarify what's meant by faith here, right? It's not about, like, blind faith or, like, believing in something without a doubt.
Right.
It's more about trusting in your own potential,
Yeah.
in the power of the universe, even when you can't see the full picture yet.
Yeah, I love that, trusting in the unseen. Like taking a deep breath and saying, okay, universe, I know you've got my back, even if I can't see the whole plan right now.
Exactly. And that can be, like, a really comforting thought, especially when you're facing, uncertainty or doubt. And it's not about, ignoring reality,
Right.
but it's about choosing to focus on the possibility that things can and will work out.
Right.
Even if it's not immediately apparent how. It's like that saying, what is it? The path will appear as you start walking.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
So we're not just sitting back passively, but we're also not letting fear paralyze us either.
Right.
We're taking action, even if there's small steps, while, like, holding that trust that, things will unfold as they should.
And you know what helps cultivate that sense of faith?
What's that?
Zen M talks about reflecting on past manifestations.
Oh, okay.
Remember those times when things just like magically worked out?
Oh, for sure.
Maybe even better than you could have imagined.
Yes.
Like you look back and you're like, wow, the universe like totally came through for me that time, even though I was freaking out.
Yeah, those moments are like little winks from the cosmos,
Totally.
reminding us we're not alone in this journey.
Right. And everyone has those stories. That time when you landed that dream job you thought you had no chance at, or when a wrong turn led you to the most amazing, like, hidden cafe.
Yes.
It reminds us that, we're not always in control, and sometimes that's a good thing.
It's like surrendering to the flow of life
Right.
and trusting that things are happening for us, not to us.
Right.
Okay, I'm feeling calmer already just thinking about it.
I know, right? And you know what happens when you can, like, tap into that trust?
With that?
That's when you start to align with your true desires. Okay.
And that's when things really start clicking.
Speaking of alignment,
Yeah.
Zen M talks about this a lot,
Yeah.
describing it as this state of, like, feeling good and attracting like good things into your life.
It's like that saying, like attracts like. Right. But instead of just focusing on attracting, material things, it's more about aligning with a certain energy,
Okay.
a vibration.
Okay.
When you're feeling those positive emotions, joy, gratitude, love,
Yeah.
you're vibrating at a higher frequency.
Okay.
And that's what you attract into your experience.
So it's not about, like, forcing ourselves to feel happy all the time.
No,
Because, let's be real, life throws curveballs.
of course.
It's more about being mindful of our energy.
Yes.
And, like, making conscious choices to kind of shift it when needed.
Precisely. It's not about denying the negative emotions, but
Right.
rather like becoming aware of them
Yeah.
and then choosing thoughts and beliefs that support our well-being.
Right.
Remember those reframing techniques we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Those can come in handy here too.
Right. So if we're feeling down, we can choose to focus on, I don't know, something we're grateful for.
Right.
Or do something that brings us joy. It's like giving our energy a little boost in the right direction.
Exactly. And Zen M offers some really practical tips for doing just that.
Okay.
One that stood out to me was, the importance of a daily gratitude practice.
Oh, yeah. Gratitude is huge.
It is.
But sometimes it's easier said than done, Like, how do we actually make gratitude a habit?
Right.
Something we do consistently,
Yeah.
not just when we remember.
Well, it can be as simple as, like, taking a few minutes each day to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small.
Yeah.
It's about training your mind to focus on the positive.
Right.
Zen M actually suggests, like, starting each morning by writing down a list of things you're grateful for.
I've tried that before.
Yeah.
And it actually works. There's something about, like, physically writing it down
Yeah.
that makes it more real, more powerful.
It is. It's like setting the tone for your day from a place of abundance and appreciation,
Yeah.
rather than just starting your day focused on what's lacking.
Exactly. And it's not just about what you focus on,
Okay.
but also about quieting the mind,
Right.
which is where meditation comes in.
Right.
Zen M is a huge advocate for meditation
Yeah.
as a really powerful tool for alignment.
Meditation. You know what? I've been meaning to try that.
Really?
I've heard so many people rave about, the benefits.
Yeah.
But I always have this excuse, right? I don't have the time or can't quiet my mind. But honestly, who couldn't use a little more peace and quiet in their life?
Right.
What's Zen MM's take on meditation?
Yeah.
And how does it tie into all of this? So it's like we're giving our minds a break from like all the noise and demands of daily life.
Exactly.
And then in that stillness, we can finally,
Right.
hear our own like inner wisdom.
Exactly. Zen M talks about how meditation helps to quiet that mental chatter, It allows us to reconnect with that deep place of peace and wisdom that's always within us.
Okay.
And what's so fascinating is there's actually a growing body of like scientific evidence that backs this up,
Really?
Yeah, meditation, it isn't just some new age trend anymore. It has real benefits. It can reduce stress, improve your focus, even like increase your feelings of compassion
Wow.
and well-being.
That's amazing. I'm starting to think meditation could be like my new secret weapon against,
Right.
doubt and fear. It's like Zen M is saying, instead of fighting those feelings,
Right.
we can create space for them, understand them,
Yeah.
and then ultimately like use them to our advantage.
Yeah.
This whole episode is so empowering.
It is. Absolutely. And, this episode really highlights how we have way more control over our experience of doubt and fear than we realize.
Yeah.
It all comes back to that idea of alignment.
Yeah.
When we're aligned with, our true selves and desires, that doubt and fear, they just naturally begin to fade.
They don't disappear completely, but we
Yeah.
kind of learn to see them for what they are, right?
Exactly.
Just thoughts, not facts.
Right.
And that we have the power to choose
Yes.
which thoughts we want to give our attention to.
100%. Yeah.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about.
I know, right? It makes you realize, like, how much power we have when we just start to, like, understand how these thoughts and feelings actually work.
Yeah.
And, it reminds me of a really thought-provoking question
Okay.
that Zen M poses towards the end of the episode.
What's that?
What if doubt and fear are not your enemies,
Okay.
but rather guides
Oh.
leading you back to your own power?
Ooh, that kind of sends chills down my spine. It really makes you think, right, what if those uncomfortable,
Right.
often scary feelings
Yeah.
are actually opportunities
Yeah.
for, like, growth and transformation?
Yeah.
Instead of running away from them, like, what if we leaned in
Right.
and used them to kind of, like, fuel our journey?
Yeah. Yes, precisely. By facing those feelings head on,
Right.
and exploring those thoughts and beliefs that are underneath them,
Yeah.
we might uncover a whole new level of confidence and clarity.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Doubt and fear transformed from roadblocks into, like, signposts,
Right.
guiding us towards our truest,
Yeah.
most empowered selves.
That's a powerful image to, like, end on.
It is.
So to everyone listening,
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
doubt and fear, universal experiences, but so is the power to overcome them.
And the more we practice, like, aligning with our true selves and desires, whether that's through meditation, gratitude, or simply by challenging those old limiting beliefs,
Right.
the more effortlessly we're going to navigate the ups and downs of life.
Yeah,
Each challenge just becomes an opportunity for growth.
totally.
And those once dreaded feelings of doubt and fear,
Yeah.
well, they might just become our greatest allies on the journey.
Beautifully said. Until next time, keep diving deep, keep questioning,
Really question.
and keep believing in your own incredible potential.